The whiteboard in the kitchen has 2 flights, 3 school holidays, and 4 weekends marked out across the year. It adds up to about 8 weeks. That's what you actually get with your child.
If you're listening, something at home has shifted. Maybe recently, maybe a long time ago. Welcome, I'm Remy. This is CoParentSpace, the calm space for parents and children living between 2 homes. What you'll hear is grounded in attachment science and clinical research. It isn't therapy, and it isn't medical or legal advice. If you or your child are struggling, please talk to someone who can help in person. This is a quiet place to think. It doesn't take sides. Here's today's piece. The whiteboard in the kitchen has 2 flights, 3 school holidays, and 4 weekends marked out across the year. It adds up to about 8 weeks. That's what you actually get with your child. The rest of the year, the relationship runs through video calls, voice notes, and the steady work of staying present from a different time zone. This is long-distance co-parenting. A meaningful number of separated families end up here, by choice or by circumstance. One parent moves for work. One parent returns to family. The visa expires. The job goes. The decision was made before the separation, and the geography never quite resolved. Whatever the route in, the structure is the same. 2 homes that aren't a relay drive apart. They're a flight apart, or a long train, or a continent.
Plan 1 or 2 things, not 7. The visit that has 2 anchors per week is the visit your child remembers warmly. The visit that has 14 anchors is the one your child remembers as a blur. Less is more, even when the gap until the next visit is long. End with a clear plan. The last evening, walk through what comes next. Which calls, which photos to send. The next visit and when it falls. Your child needs to know that the connection continues. The structure of the post-visit period is built in the final hour. What distance asks of you.
The harder truth in this module is that long-distance parenting asks something of you that nearby parenting doesn't. It asks for sustained presence in spaces where the rewards are delayed. The bedtime story you read by video that your child barely seems to listen to is doing work, even if the work is invisible. The voice note you send on Thursday afternoon that gets 1 emoji back is registered, even if the response doesn't show it. The 5th video call in a row where your 8-year-old steps away after 8 minutes is building the channel, even when each individual call feels like nothing. This is the work the long-distance parent does that the nearby parent doesn't have to do as deliberately. The nearby parent gets reinforcement constantly. The hug at the relay, the shared meal, the morning conversation in the car to school. The long-distance parent gets reinforcement in concentrated bursts and then sustains the work through the long gaps between them. The reframe here is that the gap isn't the absence of relationship. The gap is part of the relationship. The bedtime story read by video on a Wednesday, the photo sent on a Saturday, the call on a Sunday evening aren't substitutes for being there. They're the form the relationship takes when distance is the structural fact. They count. They build something. They're enough. When the move is still the question. Some readers arrive at this episode before the move has happened. The decision is on the table. One parent has been offered a job in another city. One parent is considering moving back to family. The conversation about whether to move is the conversation this episode wants to be careful about. The clinical thinking on this is direct. A long-distance move involving a young child is one of the highest impact structural decisions in co-parenting. The decision deserves the time, the conversation, and the professional help it needs. It also doesn't have a universally right answer. A move that's right for one family is wrong for another. A move that the child experiences as expansion is the same kind of move another child experiences as loss. The move decision lives across multiple articles. Module 6 covers the schedule implications. Module 8 covers the co-parent conversation. Module 9 covers when to bring a mediator in. The cross-country move conversation has its own article later in this module. The position here is narrower. Whatever decision gets made, long-distance parenting works when both parents commit to building the structures the distance requires. The structures don't replace presence. They make presence possible across the gaps the geography creates. The line you carry. Your child with two parents living far apart isn't a child with a lesser family. They're a child with two homes that ask more of the structures connecting them. The joy windows are concentrated. The video calls are deliberate. The visits are planned. The communication is steady. What your child needs to know across the years is that the parent who lives far away is still the parent who lives far away with them in mind. The flight is real. The time zone is real. The gap between visits is real. None of that means the connection isn't. The connection is built, deliberately, in the structures both parents put around the distance. It survives the geography. It's built for it. A child can hold two homes in mind across any distance, as long as both homes are holding them. The principle of this module is direct. Long-distance co-parenting is not a lesser version of regular co-parenting. It's a different kind of work. The clinical research on attachment is reassuring on this. Children can hold a parent in mind across distance when that parent shows up reliably in the spaces they can show up. The question isn't whether long-distance parenting can work, it's how to build the structures that let it. What changes when distance is the structural fact. For a child whose two homes are 10 minutes apart, the relay happens twice a week, and either parent is reachable inside the day. For a child whose co-parent lives 4 hours away, 2 countries away, or 8 time zones away, the relay is a flight booked weeks in advance. The co-parent isn't reachable inside the day. They're reachable inside the next scheduled call. 3 things shift. The joy windows look different. A Wednesday evening dinner isn't possible. A bedtime story isn't a video call substitute for being there. The joy windows in long-distance parenting are concentrated. School holidays, long weekends, the gap between terms. When they happen, they're long. They're also rare. The communication channel does more work. When the long-distance parent isn't physically there, the video call, the voice note, the photo, the postcard, the small daily texts become the relationship. The channel isn't a supplement to physical presence. It's most of the relationship for most of the year. The schedule plans further ahead. Flights need booking, holiday weeks need agreeing, schools have to be told. The co-parent communication shifts from weekly logistics to quarterly planning. Both parents manage more in advance, less in the moment. These 3 shifts are what the rest of this episode addresses. They aren't problems to be solved. They're the architecture of long-distance parenting as it actually works. In most long-distance arrangements, one home becomes the primary anchor. The child's school is there, their friends are there, their daily life is there. The long-distance parent's home is the second home, the one the child travels to. Both homes are still home. The primary anchor designation is structural, not a judgment about who matters more. By age, what distance asks of the child? The clinical guidance changes by age. Distance hits different developmental stages differently, and the structures that work for a 4-year-old aren't the structures that work for a 14-year-old. The under-twos, the secure base, the nervous system level sense of who is reliably here, is built through frequent physical contact in the first 2 years. A baby's brain doesn't hold the concept of mom lives in Singapore now and visits every 6 weeks. The baby experiences absence as full absence. Long-distance parenting at this stage is the hardest version of it. The structural advice is honest. If a parent has moved or is moving when the child is under 2, the joy windows need to be as frequent and as long as the geography and resources can sustain. Daily video calls don't substitute for presence at this age. They do something else. They keep the long-distance parent's face and voice in the baby's sensory environment. That matters even when the baby can't engage with the screen.
The 3 to 5s. Magical thinking is at its peak. Your 3-year-old believes their thoughts shaped events, including the geography. Long-distance parenting at this stage requires repeated, simple, true explanations. Daddy lives in Penang. He comes to see you every 6 weeks. You go to see him at school holiday. He loves you the same when he's here and when he's there. The information lands incrementally over months. It doesn't land in one conversation. Video calls at this age work best when they include the parent doing something the child can watch, reading a book, cooking, walking through their house. The child doesn't need much conversation. They need the visual presence. The 6 to 9s. This is the stage where long-distance parenting becomes most workable structurally. Your 7-year-old can hold the long-distance parent in mind across longer gaps. They understand time. They can ask questions that get answered honestly. They can count the days to the next visit. They can plan things to show the parent. Video calls become more conversational. The school week and the visit weeks start to balance.
The 10 to 13s. The preteens' life is starting to fill with their own social world. The friend group at the local school becomes central. Long-distance parenting at this stage has to bend around the child's life rather than the other way around. The visit that requires missing a friend's birthday party may not be the right visit. The school holiday that overlaps with a sports tournament may need creative scheduling. The long-distance parent's job here is to take the child's life seriously, including the parts that complicate the schedule. The teens. By 14, the schedule isn't the parent's anymore. Your teenager has views about visits, about which weeks work, about whether they want to bring a friend along. Some teens want longer stretches at the long-distance home. Some want shorter. Some go through a phase of resisting visits, and then a phase of valuing them more than the parents expected. The long-distance parent's job is to hold the door open without making the teen carry guilt for how often they walk through it. The video call done well. The video call is the connective tissue of long-distance parenting. Done well, it does real work. Done badly, it becomes an obligation that everyone dreads. A few structural things help. Set a rhythm. The call that happens on the same days, at the same times, in the same shape every week is the call your child can lean on. 3 calls a week at the same times across a year build a structure the child can rely on. Random calls when the long-distance parent has a spare moment build resentment, even when the intention is connection. Keep them short. A long video call with a 5-year-old is a parent's idea of connection, not a child. 10 or 15 minutes is often the right length for a younger child. The parent who insists on a 45-minute call is performing presence rather than building it. The child who steps away after 12 minutes hasn't rejected the parent. They've reached the end of what their attention span and nervous system can hold. Do something together. The call where the parent watches the child eat dinner is more connecting than the call where the parent asks the child to talk. The call where both parent and child are reading the same chapter of the same book is more connecting than either one alone. The call where the parent shows the child the new plant on their balcony or the way the rain looks at their window is more connecting than the call where the parent asks how school was. Don't punish a missed call. Sometimes your child won't want to do the call. They had a hard day. They want to play with a friend. They're tired.
The long-distance parent who reacts with hurt teaches your child that the calls are emotional labor. The long-distance parent who reads the room, says, "Let's try tomorrow," and means it, builds the channel for years. The flexibility is part of how the connection survives. The visit done well. When the visit happens, the structure of it matters more than the activities packed into it. Arrive with a quiet day. Travel itself is depleting. Your child who arrives off a long flight needs a soft landing. The first day of a 2-week visit is for the body to settle. The temptation to fill it with activities is a parent's anxiety about the distance, not the child's need. Build in normal life. The 2-week visit that is all theme parks and special outings teaches the child that life with a long-distance parent is a holiday. The 2-week visit that includes laundry, grocery shopping, an evening of homework, a quiet morning of cartoons, teaches the child that life with a long-distance parent is a life. The mundane is part of the connection. It's how the child knows this is real. Don't ask them to perform happiness. The child who's quiet on day 4 isn't disappointed in the visit. They might be tired. They might be missing the primary anchor home. They might be processing something from school that they brought along. The long-distance parent who reads this quietness as rejection adds weight the child can't carry. The long-distance parent who lets the quietness be quietness is the one the child relaxes around. That's today's piece. If it helped, the full written version, and more like it, are at CoParentSpace.com. Be gentle with yourself. I'll be here next time.